Hi, it's Andrea. I am going to show how to propagate a Rojo Congo. It's a Philodendron, and I have the one I'm going to propagate is right here. And I really love this area. This was what was a problem area. Let me put on 0.5. This was a severe problem area because a few reasons. Number one is it doesn't get as much rainfall as, say, this area here or out there. We have a covering right here. So number one, not a lot of rain. Number two, the foundation, the footing actually comes out quite a ways. So if you notice from this upper perspective, let me go around here, you'll see that none of the plants are right up against I just couldn't do it. And even over there in the corner, it was specifically problematic because I had the two sides. So that's why I have the fiddle fig there. So now it's looking great. There's a few things going on here though that are kind of cool to understand. So this is a alocasia and this is a colocasia, okay? I can't go over that right now. This is a monstera delicioso. A giant one, like some people, this is known as the Swiss cheese plant. And there I have them all over. So for right here, everything looks really happy. That's a courtline. This is a hibiscus. Everything's pretty happy here. The courtline, these like a little bit more water. Like, see these crispy edges? It's a little crispy. And the philodendron does a lot better with more shade cover. So it's a little bit hot for her right now. And so because of that, I'm gonna let the ferns do their job and take over and protect. And then I'm going to take the top portion, which in my experience in propagating these philodendron, this is specifically called the Rojo Congo. If you look at this one, in my experience, the top, I think that just has a lot more hormone in it, so it roots easier. If you see this one, this is a new leaf. The newer leaves are a really kind of almost like brown, red, really soft, really delicate. And then the more mature the leaf gets, the greener and the thicker. These yellow spots mean that the sun is a little bit intense. And they'll look like she's super happy in that area. Clearly she's happy because we have not only one coming out, we have two. Yeah, that's another one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when a plant has 6 new leaves about to come out, you know it's doing extremely well, especially a philodendron. People say that these aren't climbers, and I disagree. I have seen these climb either a rod or a pole and literally just climb all the way up. Those are because of the aerial roots. The aerial roots are really, really strong. So when you propagate, you need to make sure, don't mind the birds, you need to make sure that wherever you're going to cut the plant, and I've seen people cut it in like eight different places and make 8 different plants. In my experience, philodendrons grow really slow. So for like the beginner gardener, it's like you're gonna be waiting 6 months to a year, and probably you're gonna feel like you're just not gonna be able to do it. So like for instance, look at that, she's so happy. Boom. So this is one I propagated, and this was just the top. So I only barely got this new leaf. That leaf fell off. And see, they actually, there's so many cool things to talk about with philodendron, but I'm gonna stay focused. So in my experience, the top, we're gonna have a lot of, I'm going to put I don't want to transplant her because I really like her there, but she is getting so much sun that I need to protect her better with the ferns. And the ferns are doing obviously phenomenal, and so is she, but you can see, like, you know, it's a little bit harsh, and she just needs a little bit more protection. Different than like fiddle figs that are just so freaking resilient. People have a really hard time as beginners getting these to grow, but truly these are, in my experience, they're really, really quite easy. Like this one is so tall. I've made, I don't know, 3 at least different cuts. And every time, this is the thing that I think is important to understand about propagation. People say propagation, and like even when I started thinking about cutting a plant, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna ruin the plant. This is the thing though, look. So these cotyledons, they were getting a little bit too much sun, maybe not enough water. So I cut it here, and now we have this new growth happening and this new growth happening down there. Can you see that underneath my middle finger? So when you make one cut, 2 will usually appear. So now I've done that all over, especially if I feel like a plant's not doing really well. I'll either start propagating it, or I will or I'll just move it. If I'm like, no, you are not happy in this spot, I just move it. I can't tell you how many I feel like I almost lost. And I was like, no, we can't lose you, you know? So then, for instance, this is a alocasia root right here, and it's on its side, and I just picked it up a little bit ago, and it was growing roots like maybe a week or 2 ago. And then now you see she's growing here, she's growing here. So I don't know, I'm just saying, when in doubt, move the plant or try propagating it. And if you have a plant that you're like, oh my gosh, it's so happy, like this rubber tree plant was just, they took a long time to root and to really start growing, but once this one did, I could tell she was so happy and really loved this area. She gets like the perfect amount of light for her. So I propagated her, so I cut her here. You can see one is growing phenomenally well, and then here's the other growth that's gonna happen here. Yeah, I would say just, to me, plants cause us to listen. And some of us are better, not only listeners, but like have a real deep curiosity. And I research plants because I'm just like, oh my gosh, how does this plant grow, and how do you propagate this? And there have been so many videos that have been really extremely helpful for me. And then there are other videos that I'm like, what? No, that is not my experience at all. I live in the Caribbean. I live on an island called Puerto Rico. It means rich island. I really believe in that. Like, I really believe. I'm moving around a lot because there's mosquitoes and I don't want to get bit, but I'm sure I am a little bit. I really believe in that. I really believe that if we can all, I really believe that if we all just plant one thing, whether it's carrots or philodendron or monstera or onions or apples, that in that we're all cultivating and we're all taking our time to really harness a knowledge base, because plants have been around much longer than us, and they will be around much longer than us. Is it raining, or are they pooping all over me? Good Lord. I don't know which. They are probably pooping all over my hat. That's okay. It's normal. So I really believe in that. So what I want to say about plants and you is that no matter what you're drawn to, notice that. Notice what plant or what flower or what food or vegetable or fruit or whatever it may be. Just notice what calls you, because in that, like, if someone said, Andrea, you know, plant a flower garden. Well, we've planted a rose garden back in southern Utah. Well, roses are really hardy. They can handle that type of weather. A lot of my plants here would not be able to live in southern Utah. And though here in the Caribbean, oh, they do absolutely phenomenal. So, you know, your location, everything about not only who you are, but what's in your immediate environment, the time that you have to be dedicated, all those things come into play. And there's no right or wrong in that. It's just, well, I didn't want to get all these plants. We just wanted to bury ourselves in plants. And so we wanted to kind of shut out the outside world, some outside environment that we didn't like. And so my husband Charles had the idea, let's just bury ourselves. And it's taken time. And though in that, what I want to say about that is that I didn't do this thinking, having this vision. We just got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of plants. And then I was like, well, I don't want them to die. And I'm a really good babysitter. And I really love babies. And I really love children. And so they feel like that to me. They feel like they are in the beginning. Now I don't feel like that. But in the beginning, it feels like a baby, which I believe truly is why so many people overwater. We have this like nurturing feeling inside. And so it's like, oh, I'll just keep watering you. And we think that watering means that we love the plant more. But there are truly so many plants, like this plumeria. She likes to be super, super dry. She wants to be fed, and then she just wants to be able to dry out almost totally and completely. A really easy, actually, tree and flower to propagate, and I didn't know. I'm just learning about that now. So because I have spent so much time and I had no knowledge base, I'll just look at a plant. I'll look at a plant over and over and over again, and I'll like literally just study it. Like, oh my gosh, okay, whoa, look, she's bending here. She's wanting to get more sun. Like, they really are quite phenomenal if you just start really looking at them and seeing how long it's taking them to root. Maybe do they have a disease? I don't know. You're going to have to look at the underside. Whoa, she is sad. She looks really, really sad. Because why? Well, I can go over here and say, whoa, you know, she seems pretty quite happy, but she didn't. So I cut her here, and she propagated 2 very sturdy, healthy stalks right there. And I could rip those off if I wanted to, and I could make more. This whole side of my little yard is either propagation or I brought from our farm. We have a 14-acre farm that is about an hour and a half away from the beach. We live at the beach here, and then we have about an hour and a half away a really amazing 14-acre. I say 14 acres because I just can't believe that it's that much. So I have to remind myself because it overwhelms me. But then I simply remind myself that the land doesn't need me. The property actually hasn't even had anything done with it for over a decade now, because the man, the farmer, Felipe, who took care of it, passed away. Actually, he was in his Jeep up on the farm, and either the earth fell away or he got his tire too close to the edge. I'm not sure which. And he went in his car all the way down to the river. So there's this beautiful river that is at the bottom. And when Hurricane Maria came, a lot of the trees fell. And though, like, we were so lucky because on this farm, it's like a valley. And so when Maria came, a lot of the farms up in that area killed so many of the trees, and they just fell and died. But ours, a few fell, but most of them were protected because they were in this real deep valley. And I'll tell you what, in that dormancy, you know, you talk about permaculture, you talk about hugelculture. What we're doing is we're recreating what nature already does without man, without woman, without us. Like Mother Nature, she is, oh, this is so dear to my heart. Like that's something I feel like we all can really align with and understand, is that nature is so powerful, right? She's such a powerful, powerful, powerful force to be reckoned with. And sometimes we reckon with her and other times we don't. Whoopsie daisy. Someone just had a little problem there. So back to the philodendron, because that's what this video is about. Those things are important to me, so I needed to say them. Okay, so I'm going to show you where we're going to make the cut. So I'm going to make sure, I'm going to clear away these. And then what I'm going to look for is, see these aerial roots? Very, very, very important. And then over here you have another one. So I'm going to cut right below. So I could go here or I could go here. But I'm probably gonna go, I definitely want to keep as many roots. And what on my intention here is that I don't want to compromise the beauty of the plant and the authenticity of the plant. One of these that I propagated, hey, be careful. That's Bobo. Careful now. Why don't you come back on? Come here. That's probably hot. Come here. They like to just go right there. Okay. And then the other one is on my back, right? Okay, good. So, okay, I better talk about this. And I need to set my phone down because so you're not going to be able to see it really up close when I make the cut. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you what I'm looking for. And then, please don't do that. I don't want you on my head. It's fine. Look at that little, it was just on the hot tub cover. Stowaway. Go put it in the fish tank. I'm going to show you the cut after I make the cut, and then I'm going to show also where I'm going to plant it. So I just, you know, I want her to live and I want her to thrive, but she also is really hot there. So I feel like I have beat a dead horse with telling you all those things. So I'm going to set my phone up. This is a bit of a challenge for me, especially with the birds on my head. I kind of would rather get them off right now. I'm going to leave it on the 0.5. And I always get a little nervous, okay? I always get a little nervous to propagate. And then I remember, and I have to remind myself, Andrea, when a plant is healthy, it gives and it offers, and it wants to do that. And I am very giving. And if you're getting into gardening or planting or anything, you're probably really giving too. Because if you're not a giving type person, you probably are gonna hate this, okay? Plus, plants are great because they don't talk back to you. Also birds, okay? Here I go. So I'm cutting and I'm also wiggling the very top. Cutting and wiggling. So I know some people just get in there and like totally cut. I really like to do it, but then I'm also pulling at the same time to see if the plant will give way. So I cut and then I just pushed it to the side, and this is what happened. Okay? So look at that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 aerial roots. And then I'm going to lay her down here so I can get out of the sun and show you. So here you can see we have the top. This is really interesting. Okay, and this is like a little lesson, and I didn't know this, and now I do. So basically, this aerial root was inside of one of these stalks, okay? So if you look at this and you'd say, okay, this is the root, right? Like, look right here. Yeah, so if this is the root, and what I want to do right now is she's in shock a little bit, and I want the moisture to stay in, so I'm just going to take some of my earth below here that's a little bit more moist. And it's actually not that moist, so I'm gonna get it moist. I'm gonna get this earth a little bit moist. She doesn't need fed, but I do want to, and I don't know about this for sure, okay, so I'm in my learning, but what I wanna do is I want to protect that moisture inside. So I'm just gonna put that right on top. And these plants, the best videos I've seen are from people in the Philippines. I've loved those videos. And maybe it's because of the climate is similar to mine. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Turn off the water. Find my bird. Where's the other bird? Okay, I have to be very careful. They're right there. Okay. Good job, guys. Okay, we're gonna need to come this way. Come on, good job. Okay. This video is getting longer than I anticipated. Come on, baby, come on. No. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta take them. Come on. Okay. Okay, so she's good right now. Okay, the mother plant is good. Here's the baby, and there are a few different schools of thought on this. I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna plant her. There's a few different schools of thought on this. To just cover up this root right here for 3 days and not feed her. And I'm probably gonna go with that one. So I'm gonna actually move this alocasia because this is so interesting to me. I probably ought to be doing different videos, but one, in my opinion, one plant leads into another. Don't bite my necklace. So right here, you can see this is growing really tall to the point where it's so itty bitty right here. So I'm gonna leave her there for a second and show you how this alocasia is more about what you wanna see. So see that? Her roots below ground, here's these stalks, and she's growing babies. So these that come out from the main, this is the main right here, and this is the baby right there. See, it's a whole nother plant. So they need a lot. Oh, dear me. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Let's go over here. So she's just looking kind of sad, if you ask me. And I would say that the reason is, after really kind of watching and seeing, is that she's not getting enough light. So I'm gonna put her in a place that has more light. So I'm actually going to transplant her as well. I did take off a few of the other stalks, and I might not even have to dig down because she's so flimsy. Like, look at this. So I'm actually just gonna show you. Oh my gosh, my birds are biting me a little bit, but they don't mean to. So I'm gonna just take, because this is where I'm gonna put my philodendron. So I'm gonna take my alocasia and I'm gonna gently, I want to keep her roots, okay, as much as I can. So I'm gonna just use my hands and pull those roots. Okay, so. I want these roots, so, you know, don't just yank it. The roots are feeding it, right? Oh, this fern is from the farm, and I grabbed one of those roots too, so you can stay there. And then I'm gonna take her and set her right here. Okay, so you can really see how funny she looks, but you are still gorgeous, don't worry. So a little lesson here. You have nodes and internodes. So the plant could actually grow from each of these that you see. So you actually have 1, 2, you know, like how a tree has lines, circles, and that's how old they are. It's kind of like that, I believe, and I don't know this 100%. This is what I feel like is the truth. That each, you can propagate each of these nodes because I've seen it done with Philodendron. So each of these can become either a root or a leaf. Like if you look right here, look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, it is literally, this is hard to do at the same time. This is literally like a little plant right here. I really believe that. It's like the womb. So these are all around the plant. So if I need to go back to 0.5 because I was on 2. So if you take it off and take all of these off, then what you have is back in that little planter, how I said the alocasia was on its side and now it's growing. These are each potential growths. So if I wanted to, actually, I could probably lay it in the earth like this and grow only God knows how many I could grow off of that. Probably as many nodes as there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, probably 30 there at least. That is super cool. Like, super cool. Okay, I'm probably getting eaten by mosquitoes. So what I'm going to do now is just dig down in my hole using my hands. This is like literally perfect soil for this Rojo Congo. One thing I really do like to do, so that's, I would say that's probably deep enough. One thing I do really, really like to do though, and so I am going to do this now because I'm a huge advocate for this and I do believe in it. Number one, use your hands. That's not what I was going to say, but, and sometimes you find things like that. And if you live in Puerto Rico, then when you dig down, you find that when they built your home, they just left the tile right there in the sand. The beach actually used to be way up here. I can feel both birds on me, so I'm good there. Boy, I'm lightheaded from getting up too fast. What I'm a huge advocate for is putting the plant in some of the soil where it came from. So I'm going to take just a little handful here. I'm going to cover it back up. Philodendrons, almost every single YouTube or anything that I've researched on them, they really like not just all dirt. And I think that I think that can be hard because it's like, oh, I'm supposed to get perlite and I'm supposed to, you know what? You got to look with first what you have. So like for me, I had mostly sand. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to actually put it right on the very base. Almost, it's like an energetic thing, truly. I only meant this video to be like 10 minutes and it's 28 minutes and 12 seconds. Once I get started talking about these beautiful plants, it's actually quite challenging for me to stop. I need to put the phone down. That's going to be hard for you to see. So I'm going to put it right there. And then these roots, I am going to put down into the dirt along with the vines, from my ferns. And, you know, I believe that she's going to thrive here. And I think that that's the biggest thing, too, when you're planting. It's that, you know, you look at what substrate you do have. What is the earth around you like? Are you in sand? Are you in sandstone? Are you in rich earth up in the mountains? And then from there, you want to use what you have mostly. Because if I only planted plants here at the beach in everything but sand, then I'm not training the plants honey, you're gonna have to always be in sand. So, you know, I just start as you mean to go. I remember reading a book when I was having Lucy, and it was about raising kids and babies. And I did not follow this book, by the way. but it was start as you mean to go, because with Lucy, I let her sleep with us. But when I had twins, you know, people can deal with one sad, crying, tired child, but it's very challenging to do that with two. So I did with Evan and Ava, but not with Lucy. So, ta-da! Start as you mean to go. So I used the sand. I gave her some soil that she has been in, even though she wasn't directly in the soil, she was inadvertently in the soil. I believe this philodendron, this Congo Rojo, is going to absolutely flourish here. Why? Number one, very, very low light. I can tell you from there, I apologize, that was not even in focus. Dear Lord, I don't know how long that was out of focus. And I want you guys to know I'm getting a lot of mosquito bites while I'm giving you this information. Low light, and she likes to get dried out, and this soil is absolutely amazing. Like, look at those chunks. You have leaves, you have the sand. We brought so much soil, not only from the farm, which is so nutrient dense, also this soil that basically is just cow manure. This is from the farm, bromelia. Pineapples are also bromelia. They're so fun because you just water in here. As long as you put water in there, they live. So, ta-da! There you go. That's it. And she's, I bet, gonna just flourish there and love her. Love it there. And now I'll do another video on this little baby right here. Thanks. See ya. Say bye, bud.